What if I told you that one of the biggest threats to wildlife is not poaching or pollution, but something far more silent? It is called habitat fragmentation, and it is reshaping life on Earth in ways we are only beginning to understand. Imagine a lush forest filled with birds, insects, and mammals. Now picture that same forest split apart by roads, farms, and towns. Suddenly, those animals are trapped in tiny islands of land. This breaking apart of once connected ecosystems is what scientists call habitat fragmentation. At first glance, it might seem harmless. After all, trees are still standing, right? But here's the problem. The space is broken into smaller pieces, and smaller pieces cannot support the same rich variety of life. When habitats shrink, species lose safe places to feed, mate, and shelter. Over time, this can lead to population declines and even extinction. But why does this matter to us humans? Because biodiversity is like nature's safety net. When it tears, everything we depend on becomes unstable. Think of biodiversity as the invisible engine powering clean air, fresh water, fertile soil, and even medicines. When fragmentation weakens that engine, everyone pays the price. Here is how it happens step by step, and why it is so dangerous. The first effect of habitat fragmentation is isolation. Animals that once roamed freely now find themselves cut off from others of their kind. This means fewer opportunities to breed, which leads to weaker genetic diversity. Just like in a family tree, less diversity makes populations more vulnerable to disease and environmental changes. The second effect is edge creation. When a large habitat is split apart, new edges are created where the habitat meets open areas like roads or farmland. These edges expose wildlife to predators, harsh weather, and human disturbance. Some animals avoid edges entirely, while others are drawn to them, leading to dangerous conflicts. The third effect is what scientists call the domino effect. When one species struggles, the balance of the entire ecosystem begins to wobble. For example, if pollinators disappear, plants stop reproducing, which then impacts herbivores and predators in a chain reaction. Here is a striking real-world example. In the Amazon rainforest, vast stretches of land have been carved up by logging and agriculture. Jaguars and tapirs are now forced to cross dangerous roads in search of food and mates, and many do not survive the journey. But this is not just a tropical issue. Even in suburban areas, fragmentation affects wildlife like songbirds, deer, and pollinators. Your backyard may look green, but to a tiny creature, it might feel like a maze of isolated patches with no safe path to travel. So what can be done to fight back against this silent crisis? One powerful solution is the creation of wildlife corridors, strips of natural habitat that connect isolated patches. These corridors act like bridges, allowing animals to move safely and maintain healthy populations. Another strategy is smarter urban planning. By carefully designing cities and infrastructure, humans can reduce fragmentation while still meeting their own needs. Lastly, protecting large, continuous habitats before they are divided is the most effective defense. Once a landscape is split apart, repairing it becomes much harder. Now you might be wondering, why should you care about this problem if you live far from the wilderness? Here's the truth. Habitat fragmentation impacts global systems, from the air we breathe to the food on our plates. When pollinators like bees decline, crops suffer. When wetlands are destroyed, flooding worsens. When forests fragment, carbon storage decreases, speeding up climate change. The ripple effects reach every corner of our planet, including our own lives. So the next time you see a road cutting through a forest or a new development replacing a meadow, remember, it is not just scenery changing, it is an ecosystem under pressure. To protect biodiversity, we must think bigger than individual parks or species. We need to see the connections and fight to keep them intact. If you found this video eye-opening, hit like and subscribe for more insights into the hidden forces shaping our natural world. Together, we can understand these challenges and maybe even solve them.